It's about that time for some transparent conversation. Take off the mask, gotta be real, let them know what you facing. It's about that time for some transparent conversation. Take off the mask, gotta be real, let them know what you facing. Give your battles to the Lord so he can take you on new level. Use that pain, turn it to purpose, run in circles round the devil. Let God fight your battle. Visions is here to just be real, stop the flexing. Tell the truth, cause he ain't got no time for the guessing. He give you blessings, blessings bigger than Respucia. His plans to prosper you and give you hope and a future. It's about that time for some transparent conversation. Take off the mask, gotta be real, let them know what you facing.
Welcome to Transparent Conversations with Latoya here on D30 Radio, the hottest and trendiest internet radio of all time. My topic for today is the importance of healing before getting into a new relationship. Healing allows us to reclaim our power. It gives us the opportunity to rebuild ourselves stronger than ever before. Healing allows us to define ourselves as survivors and not victims. We have to get over the victim mentality and become victors. We can become a voice and share our testimonies to help others when we speak about our adversities and different things that we've went through. A lot of people are afraid to share their testimony because they're embarrassed. I was one of those people that was afraid to share my testimonies because of being embarrassed about some of the different decisions that I made in life. But none of us are perfect. We're all imperfect individuals, and that's why we need God. And that's why we need to share our testimonies to show the goodness of God and to give God the glory for bringing us through those different things. Because I'm going to tell you, I couldn't have made it through anything that I've gone through in life without my Heavenly Father. This past weekend, I had the honor of speaking to a group of ladies at a single mother's brunch about taking the mask off. I wrote my book, Take the Mask Off, because at the time I had to take my mask off. In order for you to heal, you have to forgive yourself. You had to. So I had to forgive myself. I had went through depression. I had low self-esteem. I just had a number of things that I had to let go due to past relationships that I let take over my life because those things had power and control over me. So healing, you have to forgive yourself. It's a must that you forgive yourself. And you have to forgive those that have done you wrong. I understand it may hurt and they may have been wrong, but you have to forgive them. When you forgive them, it's more or less for you, not them. You have to forgive others. Because if you don't forgive others, guess what? They have total control over your life. They have the power. You don't. So healing is very important before you get into any relationship. You may be dealing with betrayal from just a girlfriend, from a friend that you thought you could confide in. I've been there too. But you have to forgive and let it go. No one's saying that you have to go back and just be buddy of friends with with anybody, but you must forgive them and let it go. And if God sees fit to bring that friendship back together, it will happen. And also with past relationships, maybe your child's father, you have to forgive them too for the things that you've done. Because you have to think about it. God forgives us every day for things that we are not doing right. We're not perfect. So you have to forgive others for the things that have done to you. And over years, people can change. People can change. God works on all of us. But just remember that the longer that you keep holding grudges, the longer you keep holding the hatred in your heart for the individual, they have total control over you. I know since I took my mask off, I feel so much better. I'm set free. I'm not worried about anything that's happened in the past. If anything in the past, I share my past, some of the things that happened in my past with others so they can see that, look, you're not the only one that have been in this situation. I've been there. Let it go so you can go forward and live a prosperous future. You have to let things go. I keep stating let things go because we have to let it go. It used to be small things I used to hold on to. And I'm like, I cannot believe all these years I let this control me. Like, one of the things that really broke me down was my situation with my oldest son's father. Him lying to me about his age, name, where he's from. I'm thinking, oh my God, this is so simple. Why in the world would this man lie to me all these years? I even for years asked him, like, why did you lie to me? I wanted closure. I want to know why you lied to me. Guess what? After so many years, I just stopped asking. Because, let me tell you, God, he worked this thing out. God answered my prayers. I wanted closure and I wanted answers, and I just wanted to know, who in the world do I have a child by? But 11 years after I had my son, I was able to find out everything that I wanted to know about him. Because when my son was 11, his father actually died. And some things took place to where I had to end up being the one that got access to all of his paperwork, along with a close relative. We were able to become the executive of the estate, and I was able to get all the information that I needed about him. And you know, it took me years to get it, but I got it. God made it happen for me to just know, who do I have a child by, you know, and just find out the different things that I needed to know about this individual. But the hardest part of it was me, even though I had forgiven him for the things that he had done, after he died, I found out that he had died and he had AIDS. And that was one of the things that, oh my God, I've been married now for 4 years, and I'm married, and you know, these things lie dormant in your system for, you know, they say at least 10 years, but praise God, thank God I was okay. My doctor assured me that I was fine because I had just, you know, had a hysterectomy. But me just being scared, I just was like, God, oh my goodness, just please help me through this. Guide me, show me exactly what is it that just help me. Because I had started having resentment and bitterness towards a dead man. And that was wrong of me. But as time went on, and then I just kept finding out information, I felt sorry for him. Because it was some things that he had to deal with himself. So I had to let that part of my life go. And I had to ask God to help me get me through that. Help me one day to where my son, I would have to share this information with my son one day. I asked God to help me get through all of that. But I had to heal from that. I had to let it go, because at the end of the day, this man was deceased and there was nothing I can do about it. I mean, nothing. But God, I just thank God for protecting me and watching over me and just keeping me through all of this. And just most importantly, I was safe. My child was safe. My husband was safe. It was nothing we had to worry about. But there were other things that happened in my life, like I had to heal from. So when I let those things go, that's when I can start looking at my future and start walking in my purpose and asking God to guide me and show me, because now I'm free. I'm telling you, when you take your mask off, you let those things go that's hindering you for walking into your purpose. I'm telling you, it feels so much better. I feel so much better. It feels like a great weight is lifted off me for me doing that, because you have to let it go so God can truly show you what your purpose is in life. He can't show you what your purpose is in life if you keep holding on to your past. You have to let it go. Let the past go. What you can do is start looking at it as you're going to share your testimonies to help others get through the things that you went through, so they can have a prosperous future. I don't care what the issue may be, let it go. I mean, I had daddy issues. I had low self-esteem issues. I had rejection. I had all this stuff going on. And if I can get over it, you can too. I had to start getting the mindset. I had to change my mindset. The mindset is one of the things that you're going to have to change. And what I mean by that is stop holding on to things that's controlling your life. Let it go. Consult with God. I'm telling you, The things that I went through brought me closer to God. Because as I got closer to God, God showed me that everything that I have gone through, he brought me through it. And he gets the glory for all of it. Everything that he's brought me through. Even the challenging times in my marriage, all of that. God has restored my marriage. And I didn't think it could be restored. But God has shown me that, I was crazy for even thinking he couldn't restore. He brought me through everything else. So my marriage is restored. I've been set free. And you can be set free also. Instead of having a victim's mentality, have a victor's mentality. And go after your future. Anything that you want to do. Anything that you want to do, you have to let everything else go so you can focus on what it is that God has for you. The very thing that you have gone through could be a part of God's plan and his purpose for you to succeed. Your story can help someone else. So I advise everyone to heal, start journaling. One of the things that I started doing, I started actually if you have my book, Take the Mask Off, you will see it was a time when I was commuting back and forth to run my business. And during that time, I had long talks with God on that road, up and down that road, crying and talking to God, asking God, why am I going through this now? I know why I'm going through this. I know God does everything for a reason. And it's a time and it's a season for everything. And during that time, I was being stubborn. Instead of me listening, being obedient, and following my husband, I was actually being stubborn and just focus on Latoya. It doesn't matter if it's right or wrong, the decision that he made. He's still my husband. I should have followed him and let God deal with him. So what I'm doing now, I have to step back and I have to just pray for my husband. I have to pray for him and ask God to help him to make good decisions. But I did a lot of things wrong and being rebellious, and it caused things to be chaotic. Because what I did, I let things get to the point to where it just got to the point to where it just became bad. And that was just one of the things that I had to do over the years, just let things go. So now I don't sweat the small stuff. I just say, okay, and I go to God. The best thing you can do in life is go to God and let God fight your battles. Because I'm telling you, you will stress yourself out trying to change anyone, trying to change anybody. You can't change anybody. God is the only one that can change individuals. You can't do it. So just go in prayer. But if you haven't purchased my book, Take the Mask Off, in my book, I talk about the different things about healing. And I talk about the different steps to healing in my book. And I'm going to read a little bit in my book about some of the things that you have to, I challenge you to these 7 rules of life. The 7 rules of life is, number 1 is to make peace with your past so it won't disturb your present. Number 2 is, what others think of you is none of your business. Number 3, time heals almost everything. Give it time. The only person in charge of your happiness is you. No one else can make you happy. You have to make your own self happy. Happiness comes from within. Don't compare your life to others. Others' comparison is the thief of joy. Compare yourself to others. Stop thinking too much. It's all right not to know all the answers. And smile. You don't own all the problems in the world. You have to get up and get to moving. And today can be a turning point in your life to develop a restoration mentality. You have to let it go. Think about how many times God has forgiven you. I know he has forgiven me a lot. So I show more empathy now because I have to be understanding to what God, he shows compassion.